And girls, welcome back to Gary Grigsby's More in the East 2. And we have a beautiful summer evening in Sweden, and I thought it a perfect opportunity to talk a bit about our turn 3 defenses in the new campaign. The 6th of July 1941, turn 3. So you can see we saved 10 action points. It's not action points. Call it political points. I plan on promoting 2 new leaders next turn. So I'm not going to do anything with these 10 points as far as I know right now. If you follow this series, you know that the German army, the Wehrmacht, is closing in on Pskov. They're closing in on Smolensk already. It's quite early. They crossed the Dnieper in force and is almost at Roslav, which is very quick advance. They're on the outskirts of Kiev. They're also coming close to Odessa. This is to be expected, of course. So let's talk about our defenses. We're still keeping a small garrison in Tallinn. The new militia, Leningrad militias, are formed into a green army, so you easily can recognize them on the map. And they are going to construct a fortification line that connects with Oranienbaum and Kronstadt castles to the west or southwest of Leningrad itself. It's more of a delaying force, maybe taking a turn or two for the Germans to clear out, giving us a little bit more time to fortify the outskirts of Leningrad itself, leaving these clear hexes free here. We have a few defenders between Leningrad and Novgorod itself, trying to put up some sort of fortifications, forts. And the main delaying force is the 20th Army under Zhukov that made a very successful defensive stand on the river here, Sorot River. But now I felt like they had to fall back. Most of their divisions are really banged up with 6,000, 8,000, 7,500, 9,000, 10,000, and 6,000 men. So the entire army composes of only 79,000 men. That's all that's standing between the fortifications of Leningrad. And as you can see, it's a rather thin line. Let me show you here my fancy little pen. So this is the skirmishing delaying line here, and we have a couple of new divisions here setting up a Staraya Ruskia defensive line. We also have a small NKVD regiment defensive force setting up in these rough hexes here. Anything else I want to mention regarding... no, I don't think so. So, oh yeah, I might want to move around my Veliki Luki forces a bit. I haven't even checked this out. Let's go through that at the end. So in the center around Smolensk, we have now deployed 2 fronts underneath one front command, and it's the Western Front, which now has 67 out of 72 command ability. And the Leningrad front is full. And Leningrad front has as many as 369,000 men under its command. So it's a substantial force to reckon with, but obviously they're stretched out over a large part. They're not heavily fortified. They're a bit in disarray, falling back towards Leningrad. Western Front has taken up a line and is responsible for defending all the way from Bryansk all the way up past Smolensk and up towards Veliki Luki. So it has a very long front to defend, and obviously you can see that the bulk of the forces are focusing around Smolensk itself, which is also where the German mobile forces are heading in on the land bridge here itself. So we'll see what we can do about that. I have been able to put a couple of, on some of the divisions, 3 of them I think, north of Smolensk, we have deployed some anti-tank regiments on some of these divisions. Anti-tank regiments, see here, this one for example. Yeah, we have 1 more anti-tank regiment. Let's place that there. So in case the Germans decide to go northwest of Smolensk, we have a few anti-tank regiments in these divisions here in the front. They don't have any forts right now, or fortifications, fort level, so I hope they'll be able to dig in a little bit. Some of these divisions on the second line here though, the 00 ones, they're down to 500 men. Yeah, that's great. This one has 5,000, this one has 1,900 men, and another one here has 1,100 men. That's the result of standing in the way from the early previous turn of 125 difficulty, intense morale German forces. They just crush your divisions in regular outright fighting. So I've tried to put these divisions in the back line, and I'm gonna refit them and try to get them in fighting shape for the next turn. They do compromise the secondary line with the zonal control in case the forces here try to break through. As you can see, some of these divisions have yellow fuel supply level, but another one is red. In the north around Pskov, most of them, if not all of them, are red or orange fuel wise. So how far can they get? Honestly, I don't have any idea. I would not dare to set up this way against a human opponent, because I think they just pin these forces and surround them and annihilate them. But I think the AI will just push them back, and that makes them work as a defense skirmish delaying line. So I guess the manpower I'm losing will be worth the time I'm gaining for digging in around Leningrad. I am keeping 2 divisions in Smolensk itself. Other than that, it's just a single division line, of course. I can't afford anything else. South of Bryansk, empty. It's just a gaping hole in the line down towards Kursk. There's nothing here. And if he wants to advance this way, well, I'm just going to let him. I can't afford to defend down here. Again, the 21st Army is just standing around Gomel and Chernigov, acting as a screening force. It's a 50,000, 60,000 man army. 54,000 man army. So it has no artillery, it has bad leaders, the divisions aren't at full strength. You know, they're basically just there to prevent a motorized unit from just running amok here in the back of the line. Also, we have 2 tank divisions trying to save themselves out of the Pripyat marches here. I doubt very much they'll make it out. That's not why I'm defending this close to the front. That's more because I don't see a lot of German forces here. So as long as I don't feel the pressure, he can't push full strength everywhere. And he is very strong up around Smolensk. So, you know, this is what I'm going with. We'll see how that works out. Around Kiev, we have this huge southwestern front stretched out over, immensely overstretched. This defense is obviously not strong enough to withstand any sort of attack. It's basically there to just slow down the Germans for now. There's no way I can be able to hold the Dnieper line. It's a very strong river line. I wish I could, but I'm not strong enough to do that. So it turned out that we have at least a few infantry divisions falling back from the border inside these fortifications around Kiev. So let's see how that works out. Maybe we can hold Kiev for 1 turn, 1 week. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not planning on holding Kiev for any long time. That's for sure. I'll show you how strong the southwestern front has turned Here it is. It's actually 292,000 men with a few tanks. But sure, they're defending such a huge area that I doubt they'll be able to make any. I'm just gonna move the front back here a bit. And as you can see, the secondary front is more or less running from Poltava down here towards Zaporizhzhia and Dnipropetrovsk. This is my main line of defense. Here's where I plan to make a stand. And in another area around Kremenchuk, I have deployed, I think, 5 or 6 divisions in this area to cover this gap here in the, well, I don't know if you want to call this a line, but the main, I deployed like over 200,000 men from the reserves, and around half of them is going to show up in this area here to cover this hole. Oops. And speaking about reserves, we will go through the main force composition on the map and in the reserves. And in the south, the southern front left Odessa just because they had a whole bunch of support units, as you can see here, and they apparently couldn't leave and be deployed up to Stavka level, or maybe they popped into here after a bunch of core HQs were dissolved last turn. I don't know, but I decided to withdraw the HQ, the front HQ from inside Odessa. Oh yeah, I learned something new this turn. You can enter into a city fort. I complained in my last stream that you couldn't, that you could only get 1 division in when you have 2 static units in the city fort. Turns out you can enter from adjacent to the city fort as well if you haven't moved yet, meaning it's a lot easier to reinforce and fill up a city fortress faster. I'm very happy about that. I don't know if it's a patch change that has happened over time since I last played at release, or if this has always been there and I just haven't discovered it. This game is so deep and complex. It's a given that you miss out on a lot of things like this. But I'm very happy to find that. That's a great feature. The 9th Army, I think they got a new... No, that's not my commander. He had a good commander from turn 2. So, and I gave him some basic artillery, and so Odessa is defended. And I did deploy, that was my one luxury, I did deploy a division in Sevastopol that I can naval transport over to Odessa and fill out if I want to. Because I don't need to defend Sevastopol right now, but instead of placing them in front of the panzers around Smolensk or somewhere where they would be super useful, I decided to take one of my divisions. I think I deployed 16 infantry divisions, and one of them went to Sevastopol and later on to Odessa. The southern front consists of 295,000 men. So it's a full size. It has only 53 out of 72 command points. Oh yeah, there's a bit more space to fill them up, but a few of these, yeah, so maybe not the strongest front. And as you can see, I have kind of a fallback line here. I have a division in Mogilev, and I'm trying to set up new forts on the entrance to the Kerch Peninsula, as I mentioned, I think, last stream. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 separate lines for the, what is it, 11th Army down here. That's why I was hesitating putting another division down in Sevastopol, because this front is really, it should be strong enough to delay and maybe not stop, but you know, it's not the place where I feel like I'm under the most pressure. So we'll see about that, if it was a waste of a division. Now, yeah, I think that's it. Let's talk about leaders. The 2 leaders I placed was for air leaders, actually. I decided to upgrade the Western Air Command leader and the Long Range Air Command leader. So instead of two very, very bad leaders, we now have two, well, for Soviet standards, excellent leaders in these two air commands. Skill level 6, I only have 3 leaders of skill level 6. So one is in Leningrad, and now the second and third are in Western Air Command and Long Range Air Command. So remember that. That means we should utilize these air commands and put a lot of air units into them in the future. And they were quite cheap to replace. That's the reason why I'm still sitting on 10 points here. And I didn't feel like I have replaced a couple of ground army commanders, and I don't feel like the Germans going to smash into an army that really needs a really strong leader for this turn. So I'm saving up these points. I could build more forces. I could set up a couple of forts. And I think I'm going to go with the ability to place maybe 2 ground leaders next turn instead of 1. The militia from Moscow went out as garrisons to all these towns around here. I'm so in love with my little pen tool here, but I'm gonna show where I have my garrisons. There we are, and a couple of them went to Moscow itself. So they're not going to the front. They're just gonna sit and build up morale and build some forts in these towns, because you know what? Eventually, the German army will reach at least, maybe not all of them, but at least a few of them. So that will. They're not very strong formations. So I'm not going to throw them under the pants. I'd rather sacrifice my really strong and expensive starting divisions instead. That's an eternal dilemma. What are you placing in front of the German army at this stage of the war? I don't know. I'm going with the stronger ones for now. So that was leaders. All right. So let's finally go over the army strength. These early turns are a bit more complicated because not a lot of troops on the map to move, really, fewer than later, but it's quite an overhaul, like putting out a couple of support units, exchanging leaders, quality of troops. It's always a lot of micromanagement in this game, but it's more initial setup in the early turns. But here we are. We have our manpower pool still consists of 271,000 troops. So these are spare troops, not in a unit. Yeah, our total order of battle is 4.7 million. Maybe this is more fun. We have on map 1.9. Well, actually, it's more like 1.8 million men. In the reserve, we have 1.3, and if you remember, 200,000 of these are going on the map next week. So totally, the Soviet Union is fielding 4.7. Well, that is with the theater boxes, which is 2.5 million. I can't access these troops because my theater boxes are actually under strength, and I had to send a couple of tank divisions of low quality and low morale and low experience to reinforce them, just so I don't get a punishment for not having enough garrisons in these areas. And if you're not interested in watching the German AI smash my troops, you could stop the stream now, but I am going to end the turn and we'll see what happens. And I think this, let's see, you have to decide. Okay, this is how you want to zoom in on the end. So let's see what happens. End turn without AI depot management. Yeah, I haven't built any depots this turn. I'm quite worried what the AI will do around Smolensk. I think I'm even more worried about being encircled up around Kursk towards Leningrad. No, not Kursk. My apologies. Pskov. My line around Smolensk is a bit more solid this turn. So, although they had higher fuel levels. Let's see what the AI can produce. You always have this nagging feeling when you end a turn. What did I forget? And you always forget something. It's almost impossible. The game is so complex. There's so much to think of. There's so many things to check out. But you know, most of the time, it can wait a week to do it. I reflected around this game that this game consists of. It's not like a super important die roll at the end of turn 10, like in a board game where you run your 3 versus 1 table attack. This game consists of 1 million small decisions, and it will slowly ebb and flow towards victory for one of the sides. Incredibly complex. So you don't have to do everything right. You just have to do the majority of things right compared to your opponent, I suppose, and then your side will prevail. Okay, we got a bit of air management going here. So you can see they seem to have moved up quite a few, or they're doing that now at least, air units towards Kiev. But what I checked, I think a lot of the Germans' air units this turn, they were still stuck at the border, at the Polish-German border. That is the last pocket. There we go. They're cleaning out one of my NKVD border guard attachments with his infantry. Excellent. Under Manstein, even better. I love that I'm slowing down his infantry, wasting attacks on these small regimental size delaying forces. Okay, I might have slowed down this a little bit too much, but it shows me we have 1,800 troops versus almost 19,000. So this is one of the elite divisions. So let's. Okay, I didn't rout. Excellent. More zonal control still left for next turn. I think the delay. Oh yeah, we don't want to watch all these bombing again. 1,100 troops are delaying 16,000. This time we were shattered. We lost 11. We lost every one of them. But I guess it's worth it. This is the pocket, a rifle division in. Oh yeah, that's a straggler. 7,000. It's a good division. I know that it's an elite division, but 99. But there's nothing. He didn't get out. It just took a while for him to get eliminated. Boom, gone. Another border garrison eliminated, and a third. Yeah, Germany's cleaning up. Axis are cleaning up the surrounded troops. Now we go to coastal operations, priority attacks. All right, Pskov. 1 infantry division is attacking. So this is exciting. 16,000 versus 8,000. How's that gonna go? We are actually sending in 82 bombers this time to support. They don't have any air attacks, air cover, so maybe that works in our favor. 82 bombers. This is a bit slow. I haven't really found. We were scouted. We held. And now we retreat. But we retreated. We retreated. We did not rout. We weren't shattered. So we slowed them down. Couple of attacks. That's movement factors going to waste. They're not advancing towards. Is that it? Is that it? Are they refueling their panzers for next turn? Just cleaning out Pskov? Oh, that's excellent. I love it. No. They did not. Here comes the panzers. Of course. Yeah, this is good division. 10,000 men versus 225 panzers. That's not gonna go well, is it? We do have quite a few bombers supporting from Leningrad. Not sure how much that's gonna affect the combat, but we do have bomber support. Yeah, I will turn down the combat delay on one step. It's a bit slow. We routed and we lost 5,600. I guess they couldn't. Here's another border guard and KVD, 1,500 men. They're gonna get shattered now versus a 8 Panzer division. Slowing them down though. It's slowing them down. Wasting ammo, wasting fuel. They're not there to stop. They're there to delay. They're doing their job. 107 bombers supporting. Hopefully we get a little... We routed. We weren't shattered. Well, we lost most of our men. Another delay. They're doing their job. We got bomber support. Let's see, do we shatter? Do we rout? I don't think we're gonna retreat. We routed. And we lost... Oh, only 244 troops. And here comes the 36th Motorized Division. We have 29 bombers. We held them. That is excellent. 3rd Motorized Division. Oh boy, we held an attack. I am stunned. Very content with that. Come on, Xeniov, not of... Sorry, I'm butchering that. 182nd Rifle Division held an attack. Heroes of the Soviet Union. Medals for everyone. Combat value isn't calculated yet. No. We have 65 bombers again. Wow, we're getting... We retreated, losing 1,300 men. Retreating is so much better than routing. Here comes the 1st Panzer Division. Under Reinhardt. They only have 140 tanks. They didn't lose any. We routed, losing 900 men. It's unfortunate. 36th Motorized Division. They don't have any tanks. Why is that? That's weird. Didn't German Motorized Division have an armored component? Only 1 tank battalion instead of 2? Alright. 66 bombers helping us out. Maybe we can... We only have 8,000 men, so it's not gonna go well, but who knows. At least he doesn't have tank, the attacker. It's 183rd Rifle Division. We retreated, losing 3,500 men. That's painful. But it's better than a rout. It's better than a shatter. It's going to be a really banged up division. Maybe worth pulling it out and putting it in. We'll see about that. It's going to be down to 4,000 men or something. Okay. Smolensk sector. I'm kind of okay with what happened at Pskov. They didn't break through. They didn't encircle. We actually had a couple of semi-success. Okay, he's gonna take out Smolensk here. Here it comes. We got 48,000 defenders. Did we get any reserve activations? That seems high. Yeah, mechanized corps. We should have. Oh yeah, 18 tank division activated, and 21st. Yeah, we got 2 reserve divisions. 300 tanks. This might be painful for them. We actually managed to activate reserves. Good job, defenders. We have 157 bombers defending and 147 fighters. German has no air cover. Don't ask me how important this is, but I mean, of course, it should make even if these are bad planes with bad pilots and bad training experience and morale. We were scouted. They lost 37 tanks. Thank you. 500 tanks. I think we got 2 reserve activations this time as well. We're so lucky with our reserve activations. Firing range 38. They lost 15 tanks. We lost 14 tanks, but we held them off twice in Smolensk. And now they're changing focus to the south of Smolensk, going for the gap around the marshes here. We got another reserve activation, 14th Tank Division. That's so good. So we have 273 tanks versus their 221 panzers. how's this gonna go? This is actually pretty even, you know. We have 150 bombers helping us out. We've been really lucky with reserve activations. Although I forgot to show you, we have a really good tank army around Smolensk, the 10th. I run under a good tank commander. So I forgot to show you, but they're deployed in the secondary line, all the orange. You can go back in the stream and check all the orange troops. We were scouted, we held them off. And now we retreated. Yeah. Well, it's a retreat. It's fine. We got 124 bombers. What's this? Motorized divisions. Again, no tanks. I guess they pulled out all their tanks out of the motorized divisions at this stage of the war then. This is gonna be painful. We do have a level 1 fort, but it's not gonna be enough versus 2 motorized divisions. Ouch. Get 2 artillery units supporting us. That's not gonna help a lot. It's better than nothing. Wait, are you serious? We stopped them at 279 meters? Oh my god, that is excellent. Okay, this division here, we were routed. Okay. Oh. Where are we now? Routed again. So, oh, they're all okay. They're pushing towards Bryansk. Scouted. We don't have a lot of forces around Bryansk. This is our southern edge of the. So they pushed with a lot of forces towards Bryansk, and this is gonna be a potential breakthrough area. Interesting, very interesting. But we held them. What's this again? Are these... Okay. We're Odessa sector, southern sector now. We have a few skirmishers on the outskirts of Nikolaev here. Not intended to hold, just delaying. Oh boy. Bryansk, did you see that? Wow. If they're not going to reach Odessa this turn, I'm very happy with that. Please, by all means, take your time. Advance slowly. Winter is coming. Or more accurately, mud is coming in October. I think it's like 17 turns before, historically, in... Okay, we're done. We're done. So let's check out just a quick overview. I'm always so excited to check out what's going on at the end of the turn. So if you're not interested in that, thanks for watching the combat section of turn 4, the Axis part, AI. And yeah, the next stream is obviously going to be maybe the air phase of turn 4, or maybe I just skip to the end of turn 4 when I've done everything and explain everything in the next stream. But before we end this, we are going to take a quick overview over what the Germans achieved this combat phase. So, new events. I will present them now because they will be removed at the turn 4 end segment. So, Axis Finnish offensive begins. So, ground combat intensity is set to medium 3. Northern ground combat is set to high 4. So the Finnish are attacking now. The Axis suffering a setback in North Africa, and the North African campaign events are moved forward. The Italian campaign events are moved forward. Okay, I guess this is random. Maybe the AI decided to pull out forces from North Africa, so this happened. I don't know. Partisans are activated, and mutual assistance. I guess, yeah, we're talking about Lend-Lease here. So these are only cosmetical. But sometimes, if you don't have enough garrisons, you can lose points, APs. So this turn, we only lost 73,000. So the losses from the initial pockets at the border are slowing down now. And I think from now on, there will be no massive losses like the ones we saw the first couple of turns. And yet, even though with these losses, 73,000, I think we saw an increase on the map of 111,000 troops. Which makes sense. I deployed around 200,000 troops. I lost 73, so yeah, that leaves around 111 left. Okay, we will remove the air units and check out how far did they get. Well, they kicked us out of Pskov. I'm happy. I'm good with that. And they reached all the way here. But our line basically held, and they did not open up the main highway towards Leningrad. We still hold that. Okay, so they have forces. They're taking the bait, sending at least a corps towards Tallinn. I mean, yeah, they can afford it, but. And you see a couple of white divisions here. Those are troops that I deployed from the reserves. Well, not these mechanized, but so we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new divisions up here in the north. Okay, we got 2 new divisions around Veliki Luki here. I think these 2 tank and mechanized divisions, they're planning to go into the reserve, so ignore those. Oh yeah, I didn't move anything here, but I guess that's okay. Yeah, as you can see here, the 10th army under Batutin is orange, but they're under the western front. It's just that I put them on another color, so they're tanks, and it's a tank army. They did not take Smolensk. They barely did any damage at all here to our line. They just basically moved up, and look at the red fuel situation here, and they ran up against the marshes, against our defensive line that held. That was excellent. I'm very happy with that result. I was afraid, and I think a human player would have tried to go around, or maybe this is how inexperienced they are. I don't know how far the Germans can go turn 3 and turn 4. How long they have to wait before they refill their panzers with fuel. It seems like now is when they're running out of fuel. Alright, this is the unexpected thing. We saw that pincer coming in turn 3 across the Dnieper, over the marshes, and heading up towards Roslav here. And I was unsecure. What are those forces going to do? Turns out this week they advanced towards Bryansk here and made a lunge towards the east. That means our skirmish line down here towards Gomel held. That's interesting. I mean, I obviously don't have forces enough to mount any sort of... I need to put something around Bryansk. And we have 1 new division up here. And that's it. I'm basically naked here. I got caught off, and poof, this is I might have to deploy this army from Gomel up here towards Bryansk instead. I don't know how to handle that. So this was the main surprise of the turn. The Germans did not get into Kiev this turn, and they did not cross the Dnieper, but they sure advanced towards Kremenchug. So it's quite fortunate, or good foresight of me, to deploy those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divisions around Kremenchug. So maybe I can actually hold them at the Dnieper river line for a turn. But they refused to cross the line against this very thin skirmish line. Well, I'm okay with that, because here's where I have my new forces. Let's see what happens with that. And again, oh, their infantry seems to be doing something out on the Ukrainian steppes here. Instead of heading towards Odessa, they are breaking out northeast here towards Krivoy Rog. Well, I'm good with that. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this turn 3/turn 4. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I hope you liked. Feel free to follow the series by subscribing to the channel. All support is appreciated. I love this game. Gary Grigsby's one of these two. Check it out. If not the best, absolutely one of the best war games, strategy games out there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.